most reporting on the session say that two big matters yet to be settled are the budget, including the Revenue Stabilization Act, of course, the governor's plan for a tax cut, and then the Justice Reform Crime Bill, whatever you like to call. So what else besides those three items is sitting out there that you think is going to get attention before adjournment?
I think when we get back on Monday, there's to be a bill dropped that will address a new prison somewhere in the state. The only place that I've heard mentioned. I know some legislators up around Jonesboro have been pushing for it to be there. I have heard mention of Bradley and one other county down south, but that's a bill that I think we'll see when we get back. State income tax, that was a third provision outside of the Arkansas Learns. And so I think we'll see some form of a tax cut.
And I don't have anything to add to that. I have one other thing that's important to me, and it's a bill that's going to come forth on property management. That should make property management stronger in Arkansas and more available to individuals in Arkansas. Currently, in order to manage third-party people's property, you have to be a real estate broker, and the legislation makes easier access to it for people. We have a huge shortage of property management in the lower end, and there's also talk about a study group that would study tenant and landlord issues to help some of the issues that we have in Arkansas, which we have. Some has made the newspapers lately here in Little Rock, a property that's being mismanaged, and a lot of time that has to do with out-of-state owners and out-of-state property management. So hopefully we'll see something on that coming forward.
You know, there are no bills that are small if they affect you. And so there's still hundreds of bills out there that we're working on. Education obviously was one of the huge ones. There's no possible way for a bill that big that anyone agreed with everything in it. But our commitment to our kids reading, I am especially excited about. Our commitment to teacher pay. Didn't necessarily agree exactly with the way we did it, but our commitment to it, I think, is extremely important. Anxious to see the judiciary prison reform bill. That's obviously the second big thing of the session, and then how we're going to do the tax cut, because on the Senate end, a lot of talk in the back rooms. We're mostly business people, and we're looking at the third and fourth years. Our projections are not necessarily the same as DFA's. They're supposed to be the experts. We've survived in business for 50 years, so we consider ourselves somewhat of an expert as recessions. A recession is on the way. Being in the lumber building material business, where we're especially recession sensitive, you're always one day closer to a recession. And when you're in a recession, you're always one day closer to coming out of it. But you have to look at that. Is the spending's fine now, where will we be 3 years and 4 years down the road? And we'll be taking that very seriously as we're trying to balance a tax cut and more prison beds along with what we've done in education.